Hello, extraordinaries, and welcome to the High Performance Consciousness Podcast. My name is Matthew Paddy, and again, I'll be your host for today's episode. Today's episode is dedicated to help you think, act, and feel differently. Like all of my podcasts, if you string them together like a string of pearls, you will find the clues and the keys to changing your reality and living a zero limits life. So I encourage you to go back and listen to any and all, preferably all, my podcasts as I string all of the quantum theory, the consciousness, as well as neuroscience together in a practical way that you can apply immediately to transition from unpreferred experiences to ultimate or preferred experiences in any and all areas of your life. So for this episode, I'd like to talk about what I call the golden key. Now, I gave this class to an intimate group of members several months ago, and it was profound for a number of reasons. Profound because it got people to think, act, and feel differently about themselves and the way that they broadcast their electromagnetic signature. And I'll go into that in more detail, the EMS, electromagnetic signature, as we dive into today's episode around the golden key. So let me give you a little bit of backstory. So imagine, let's call her Mary, not her real name, but let's call her Mary, that she's running a business and has been doing so for several years. Now, as we run our business and have several years of history, several years of facts under our belt, embedded in our brains, in our neurology, in our physiology, and in our consciousness, what we tend to observe and are aware of, we will build the model of our future results in our mind and our body ahead of time. So we will come to expect that the past will determine and quite often unconsciously, unknowingly dictate our future because of how we think, act, and feel. Now, when we bring thoughts, actions, and feelings together, that is a state of being, the SOB. So your state of being is your electromagnetic signature. So what you broadcast from your thoughts, actions, and feelings on a moment-by-moment basis is what the universe, what the quantum field, the field of infinite potential will mirror back to you. And I'm going to go into that in more detail in an upcoming episode about the world or the mirror world that is within you and around you. So let's go back to Mary. So Mary's been running a business, let's say for 3 years. She's got a lot of data to go off, how she launched her business, the results that she's getting in her business and for her clients, with her team as well that are working with her and for her. And she meets a crossroad one particular day or one particular week and starts feeling a little bit contracted. She's starting to think, act, and feel around that contraction. Not enough clients, maybe cash flow has started to slow down, maybe there's some increased bills, or there tends to be maybe some hemorrhage of cash flow in the business, maybe losing a couple of clients, whatever it may be. So immediately, the thoughts, actions, and feelings of Mary will go into the past because it's known, because her physiology, all the way that she feels, and all the chemical interactions based on previous events are setting her up unconsciously to create the same outcomes and the same results using the same methodology, because she's actually said to herself, well, I've been here before, and last time this happened, it went this particular way. It either turned into an unpreferred experience or I could shift it into a preferred experience. So I hope you're following along right now, that Mary has looked back into her past consciously and unconsciously and said to herself, I've been here before. And having been here before, I know how this plays out. And so therefore, my body, which is addicted to the past until I bring it online to a higher state of awareness, and I choose through conscious awareness to think, act, and feel differently, My body is addicted to the past. So therefore, when something happens in my life, and let's say it's in Mary's business, that her body then starts to respond accordingly. I start to get tense or stressed or overwhelmed. I have the impulse from my conscious mind that says I've got to work harder. I've got to work stronger. I've got to be more detailed. I've got to focus. I've got to effort and try and hustle and grind. And so that is responding to the addictive nature of the body's response to the past. So when Mary is in the present moment and she catches herself and she thinks, hang on a minute, I am feeling a certain way because I've been here before. Let's call it stressed. I am thinking a certain way because last time this happened, I can remember it. My memory serves me well that this has happened before. And when I have thought these thoughts and felt these feelings, this is the action that I have been hardwired to and I have learnt from previous experiences. So then I try harder and I force and I effort and I grind in order to find a solution or in order to overcome the perceived problem or obstacle or issue. So I hope this is making sense. So the golden key is that it's a single frequency that runs in coherence. Your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings are all aligned, meaning they are all of the same frequency. So let's say you think positively, but you feel anything other than positive about the situation. And the action you take is both half positive and half negative, meaning you are going back into the self-defeating actions that you used to in the past because that's what you believe is going to get you a better result. So all of a sudden you're bouncing between three frequencies. Your mind is saying one thing with your thoughts, your body is saying another thing through your feelings, and your actions are in mutiny because you take half a step instead of a full step. You don't see things all the way through. So all of a sudden, if you were to draw three squiggly lines on a page, each of them is a different type of squiggle. Each of them is a different type of wave function. So one might be very jagged and bouncy and very tight in its bandwidth. Another one might be very flowing and smooth. Another one might be a mix of both. So all of a sudden, now you are compromising new results and a preferred reality in your new future because you are at mutiny with yourself unconsciously. So you're having a skirmish on the decks of your own ship because you are unconsciously running three separate frequencies. We're running three separate frequencies. And so when we run three, sometimes we run many different frequencies, we create dissonance. And dissonance is where we are out of sync, out of equilibrium, out of balance, out of harmony. And so the resulting feeling through the body and the resulting feeling through the way that we think is stress, overwhelm, discombobulation, confusion, lack of clarity. Maybe you can relate. So let's go to using a mental picture right now to explain this. So imagine at the top of the page, you've got a blank page, and at the top of the page, your single desired frequency is success. Your single desired frequency is success. Now, if you were to unpack underneath that all the different areas of your life, your finances, your love life, your career, your finances, your spirituality, your vocation, all those sorts of things, you can then think about that area of your life and simulate by drawing a squiggly line like a waveform on the page that represents what you are currently experiencing, that area of your life. So let's say finances are a little bit jagged, they're up and down. You're second guessing yourself. Maybe you're thinking, well, you know, my ceiling of income or revenue has always been the same, and my floor or my base has always been the same as well. So I bounce between this figure and this figure all the time. I can't break through this ceiling. So you have a specific frequency around finances. Let's say you go to your relationships and you think, well, they're harmonious, they're loving, they're embracing, they're fulfilling, and all the rest. And you might think, well, I can feel that I am happy there. And therefore, you draw a specific waveform that represents nice, smooth, equilibrium-based experiences. And go on for the next area of your life and the next area of your life. All of a sudden, you will see basically your brain, your interpretation of your reality transcribed onto paper by way of what you have drawn as waveforms. You will see there is multiple frequencies that you're running. You're running a frequency in this area of your life that gives you this, and another frequency in another area of your life that gives you that. So you can go through and say, well, this area of my life, I'm currently experiencing my preferred reality, that which uplifts me and expands me and brings me freedom and happiness and fulfillment and accomplishment. However, there is other areas of my life that I am not fulfilled in, or that I'm still striving or efforting towards perfecting or balancing or upgrading. All of a sudden, you can start to see that you're running again multiple frequencies. And when you run multiple frequencies, you are running a complex pattern. You're running a complex pattern. So you will essentially move from one environment to the next environment, one area of your life to another area of your life, and operate differently. Your energetic signature, your electromagnetic signature precedes you based on your expectations of what you believe is going to be the result in that area of your life. So let's go back to Mary. So she's looked back at the last 3 years. Consciously, she can see that she's been here before. Unconsciously and subconsciously, the programming that's run there is that I got my way out of it or through it, or I didn't, and I had to bypass it or collapse it based on these types of actions. So until Mary takes stock and says, hang on a minute, my past is not indicative of my future. I can change my destiny. All of us can in every single moment when I run a single frequency of my preferred reality. So Mary takes stock and she says, hang on a minute, my future, I want to look different. I want it to look differently. My preferred reality is this. She gives clear, focused intentions around what she wants to experience for her new reality, regardless of the fact that it would seem like she has been here before with cash flow, with clients, with her relationship, whatever, or her health, whatever it may be. So she becomes aware now through this golden key principle that she can change her thoughts, her actions, and her feelings. Essentially, she can upgrade her electromagnetic signature and broadcast that signature as her compass to bringing a new reality and a new future into existence. So you may have to go back over this episode a couple of times just to land with it. But essentially, the key here is that when Mary stopped and observed her thoughts, actions, and feelings and learnt from her past and said, I'm not going to repeat the same thoughts, actions, and feelings, I'm going to change them because I want a different result, then she has reclaimed her power. She is now bringing back her clarity and her focus. And with focus and strength comes new results. So the single frequency now is my preferred reality. So she now feels that I am stable, I am secure, I am balanced, I am whole or fulfilled in my desires of my business. And she gives specific points for each of those areas in her business, what her cash is like, how she feels about that, what she is thinking, what now her life looks like as a direct result of this new experience with freedom, feeling more relaxed, feeling more excited and blissful, more entertained or adventurous in her goals and her ideas about what she wants in her life. So instead of running multiple frequencies now, she's honing in on how it feels to have a new result ahead of time. And by honing in how she thinks, acts, and feels based on what she wants as her new result, her new future, she now goes to work and focuses on running a single frequency, the frequency that links me and connects me with my desired end. Once you do that, then you can transport that into other areas of your life. So what do you want as the outcome for your relationships, your love life, your finances, your health, your career or vocation or business, the clients you serve, your travel, all those sorts of things? Run a single frequency, because you will leak enormous amounts of energy when you go from feeling and operating as this type of being in a relationship. You walk out the house and you go into your office, or you go to work with a client, or you start thinking about your business. Now you're running a totally separate frequency, because you have built up expectations that are based on the past events. Again, run a single frequency. So if you go to the top of the page and now you're thinking, well, this is the frequency of success. What is success to you? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How does it function in your world? How do you function? What does your reality and the tones of your reality look like? You know, success gives you freedom and opportunity and growth and stability and fulfillment and wholeness, opportunity, whatever it may be. That there is your higher frequency. That's the golden key. So if you can impress upon the substance of your subconscious mind, your single frequency, thinking, acting, and feeling in a very coherent way, all matching together and all matching your preferred desired results in your business and life, then you can do it in other areas of your life. And typically, we feel like we need to balance all these plates. We've got all these plates spinning in all these different areas of my life. And when that happens, you leak a lot of energy. When you leak a lot of energy, you will feel tired, you will feel frustrated, you will feel unclear, and you will feel like you are not gaining momentum in any area of your life, and you fall short of fulfillment because you never feel like you've arrived. Because where you may have succeeded in one area of your life, you then have to try and find the energy and mobilize the energy from that success into other areas of your life, and it becomes tiring. Okay, so maybe you can relate. So the golden key is to run a single frequency. Stop running interference patterns. The interference pattern is where you think, act, and feel differently in different areas of your life. So run a single frequency. Get very clear on all areas of your life what you want to experience ahead of time, what it feels like to experience that result ahead of time. Because the subconscious is primed on feeling. The body is the feeling instrument. The chemical signature of your emotions are derived based on how you think, act, and feel. So you can broadcast a new electromagnetic signature when you take stock and be aware, come into a greater awareness in the now moment, and reflect on what is it you want to experience, not based on what you don't want to experience as a result of observing your past. So when we observe the past and we continue to look at it and get worried about it or try and fight against it or overcome it, then we are drawn into the past again, and our thoughts, actions, and feelings will be promoted from the past rather than from our present state. So, as I've said in previous episodes, like Nana has said as well, did you come down in the last shower? You must return to zero every day, the 0 point. Return to zero, which means you're taking stock of where you are right now. You are returning to a clean slate. What would you do differently? How would you think, act, and feel differently this day, this moment? And with that level of awareness, you will start asking different types of questions of yourself and of the world around you. And invariably asking different questions, the quality of the question will determine the quality of the answer. Okay, so the quality of the question will now determine your next steps. What action am I going to take next? So dive in, explore your golden key, your single frequency in one area of your life first, and forgive yourself and forgive any past indiscretions or mistakes or events or circumstances that you may have experienced. Forgiving them means letting them go, means bringing yourself into the awareness and the abundant present moment where more potential exists, far more. Your full potential exists right now. It doesn't lie outside of you, it lies within. And within you is the golden key. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. From me here to wherever you are in the world, dream a better dream. And remember, it's all you, baby. See you in the field. Field.